Power levels are never stagnant, and they can be very confusing and have multiple different interpretations from the fan base. As we can see, the Dragon Ball community is divided in many areas. For example, is Super Saiyan full power greater than the 50 times multiplier? There's a division there. Is Majin Buu the strongest Majin when he's a kid? There's a division there. Is Gohan stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku back in the Buu saga? There's a division there. And the same case here, is Broly stronger than Jiren? Is the division. But in this discussion, is Vegito actually stronger than Mastered Ultra Instinct from the Tournament of Power? Is there a division, or is there a little bit more to discuss what really is the case? Stay tuned and let's dive into who would win between Vegito, Blue, and Mastered Ultra Instinct. Now to get started, the first misconception has to do with people believing that the base form of a fusion is stronger than the strongest forms of the fusees. In other words, base Gogeta or base Vegito is stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta. But in reality, that's actually not true, and there's a lot more evidence to prove that than you actually think. Let's start off with the most obvious. In Dragon Ball Battle of the Gods movie, as well as the actual anime, it stated that even with fusion, they would not stand a chance. This is implying that the basis of a Super Saiyan Vegito would not stand a chance against Beerus. So Goku says the only way to do it is to go Super Saiyan God, implying that Super Saiyan God is stronger than the Super Saiyan form of Vegito. Now, that much is clear, but people want to argue that's been retconned, hasn't it? Not quite. There's a little bit more to it, but the story actually explains it quite a bit when you look at it narratively. If you pay close attention to the actual manga, you'll realize that the Super Saiyan God transformation should still be stronger than Vegito, even in the Super Saiyan form. But there's a little bit more to it. What if Vegito goes Super Saiyan 2 and 3? Well, Super Saiyan Blue is at the bare minimum 50 times, since it is the Super Saiyan variant of what a Super Saiyan God is. And as a result, that tells us much more than what we already need to know. Basically, Super Saiyan Blue Goku by this context would be stronger than Super Saiyan 2 and 3 of Vegito. And that would include Gogeta. Now people may be wondering, how did Gogeta keep up with Broly? I'll explain that in just a bit, but let's focus on the very basics of the matter. Two Super Saiyan gods get one-shotted by Fuse Zamasu, followed up by a 50 times multiplier by Blue Vegeta, and still gets knocked out really easily. To give you guys a perspective, a 50 times multiplier is something that if you applied it to Usain Bolt, he would be running at the speed of sound. So to give you an idea, 50 times is nothing to sneeze at. It is an insane increase, yet it didn't mean nothing versus Fused Zamasu. So to give you guys a better understanding on a little bit more of what's going on, let's take a look at Vegito in his base form. Blasted Zamasu's arm off, right? Well, again, the key is Zamasu is not trying to kill Goku nor Vegeta. And we see this because if you notice, Zamasu is actually holding back quite a bit. He's actually laughing. He's getting an enjoyment out of torturing them, showing them the difference between a god and an immortal type of being. That's the whole premise of his sadistic, egotistical character. He sees himself as a divine being and them lower. So what better way than to show them what you're made of? Saiyans pride themselves in how strong they become, and he knows that. That's why he's trying to take that away from them. So that is the narrative aspect as why Zamasu's holding back. But if we understand the power aspect of why, he doesn't want to kill them. He wants them to be tortured. And then you may say, well, how did Vegito in base form hurt him? Again, Zamasu thought that Vegeta was the only power level or ki worthy of being there, and he could sense it. He even states, I can sense your ki, charges up an attack, and it might have not even been intended to kill them, throws it at them, again, to torture them and show them the difference between a mortal and a god. And guess what? A fusion level attack comes out of nowhere and blasts his arm off. Now you might be thinking, well, again, that's not stronger than Super Saiyan God. True, but it's still a big jump. Imagine if someone is near death and you're about to win the fight. Then they just get a 400 times or more multiplier out of nowhere and blast you. It doesn't matter how much stronger you are than them. If you drop your guard to take on their base form and then they just jump out of nowhere to a 400 times multiplier and blast you off guard, you're going to be shook. And that's exactly what happened to Zamasu. He was like, whoa, 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 what was that? You went from this low puny power level to a 400 times increase when I thought you guys had no more stamina left. Interesting. What is that form? Now, most people think that base Vegito is stronger than the strongest form of the Fusees. That's not true. That is not true, and I'll prove it. Reason we know it's not true is because, examine this. Vegito, what does he eat? A senzu bean. And what happens? He jumps to what form? Blue! Now, why would he jump to blue Vegito if he could have beaten Zamasu by just going Super Saiyan? It means he had to. He states, I have no intention on letting this drag out any longer. So he's going all out. He's going try hard. Like, I'm talking try hard Mango at Evo. This guy is going try hard. He's not holding back. He's not joking around. He's not giving any homie stocks or no intention of holding back whatsoever. This guy is going 100% of his full power. That's why he eats a senzu bean to recover stamina from the original forms of Goku and Vegeta that he lost, and he stacks on blue on top of that. And remember, we know he needs this form because if he didn't, why would Vegito, a significantly more intelligent fighter than Goku and Vegeta separate, why would he waste stamina in blue? When we learned that blue wastes and kills stamina. We learned that. Vegeta trained himself to overcome that weakness. We learned all about it during the saga when they was fighting with Hit. Even while in their blue forms for 3 years straight training, they still can't maintain that heavy stamina drain that blue does. So guess what? Why would he go blue if he didn't need it? He could have just went into Super Saiyan God and still dominate him, right? No. He went into blue for a reason, because it has to be very clear that Zamasu at full power is at least equivalent to a Super Saiyan God Vegito. Otherwise, why waste the stamina for blue? That's what it tells us narratively and power scaling wise. There will be no reason for him to go 50 times multiplier on top of a God form that's already significantly greater than the original mortal forms. So again, the main point and verdict of what I'm saying for the Goku Black arc is Super Saiyan God is indeed stronger than Super Saiyan Vegito, and Super Saiyan Blue is indeed 50 times stronger than Super Saiyan God, making it above the other Super Saiyan mortal transformations of Vegito. But Super Saiyan God is such a high multiplier that by the time Vegito goes into that, there's no hope. There's no hope at all. But the fact that Zamasu is around that level because he forced Vegito into going to blue after eating a senzu bean should tell you something. Now, this also tells us a little bit more about Super Saiyan Full Power Blue, or the Perfected Blue variant. In other words, Super Saiyan Blue Perfected is a monstrous form, which should be equivalent to Vegito, well, Vegito Super Saiyan God, bare minimum. It's such a very powerful form. Now again, every form they get, the fusion can stack on. So don't get all fanboy and defensive like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. Why can Super Saiyan Goku as a perfected blue match up to, God level Vegito and not do much? Well, again, Vegito can always stack on a 50 times multiplier above that, and on top of that, again, Vegito Blue can also use that form. Any form Goku and Vegeta can use, it's likely they can use the same. In fact, if not, unlock even greater forms they can't do individually, like Gotenks. But the bottom line is, now that you understand that, and that's the gap between their power, you stack on a Kaioken along with that perfected blue form, and you, at the bare minimum, Vegito Blue is only about 25 times stronger than Super Saiyan Kaioken Blue perfected Goku. Yeah, that's a tongue twister. But even with that, the UI multiplier is unknown, according to the data books. It's such a high multiplier, we can't even fathom it. So to give you guys an idea, would Master Ultra Instinct beat Vegito Blue? I can think highly likely yes. The Vegito Blue from the Goku Black arc is not stronger than a Master Ultra Instinct, and Master Ultra Instinct is just that high of a multiplier. It's just that. It's literally the strongest form of Goku, so it is that strong, and it's acceptable to see how strong it is. It's one of the ultimate forms for Goku. It's an angelic type of transformation / technique. Now, you might be wondering, what about Gogeta? Well, there are a couple of explanations as to why. Number one, Gogeta is, well, how do I say this? Gogeta is a more skilled fighter, so him dodging Broly in base form isn't too surprising, especially considering that based on what we know about Fusion, he gotta be at least above Super Saiyan 3 level in his base form right here. So, I mean, if you're above Super Saiyan 3 level, it would make sense why you should be able to dodge these things. I mean, look at it. Frieza in its final form without using Golden was taking a beating and didn't die immediately from Super Saiyan Broly, enraged. So what does that tell us? And keep in mind, even when he's in Golden form, he could take an hour level beating, and Frieza in his Golden form is no greater than Goku in his Blue form. We learned that from the anime and the manga. Goku didn't even need Perfected Blue against him, and in the anime, Goku didn't even need Kaioken. So the fact that Goku doesn't use Kaioken against Broly and etc., it's a movie. There are plot holes, there are inconsistencies. So yes, if Goku went Kaioken, I'm sure he could have done a lot better. I'm sure if Vegeta went Blue Evolution, he could have done better, but they don't want that. They're trying to set up the highlight for Gogeta Blue, and my only guess as the reason why is because of the stamina issue. Because Vegeta asked for a Senzu bean around the time he went Super Saiyan God, implying, man, I'm not even at full power, and Goku was like nearly beat to death, so when Goku went Super Saiyan Blue, he wasn't at full power, like full power. He was pretty much, yeah, I have enough energy to transform, but I'm still pretty well beat down, so, and the fact that he was still stronger than Ikari after that goes to show. But keep in mind, the Super Saiyan form, or the Berserk form, is a form that where they leave themselves open. That's literally stated for the legendary Super Saiyan equivalent, which is Kale. Kale was left herself open so even weaker fighters could dodge her and wear her out. That was the whole premise. So that's the reason why Gogeta was able to not only dodge and in space form, but also put up a fight in his Super Saiyan form, okay? Because there's no reason for us to believe that Frieza could do such a thing. And remember, he had to keep hitting Broly. He had to keep beating Broly. Boom, 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 boom. Broly's still just tanking it and coming back at him even stronger than ever. So it's very clear they're not that powerful of attacks. It's only until we see the blue Gogeta where things kick up a notch, where he literally guard breaks Broly. Like, Broly powers up really heavily, and he still guard breaks him with a kick. That's where Gogeta Blue is far stronger than him as far as physical prowess goes. But as far as the Super Saiyan and the base form goes, Broly is just leaving himself open, as the manga explains, and that's exactly why he gets caught open and gets duffed a lot of times. Goku and Vegeta has also tanked hits from Zamasu in their base form. They've taken hits from even Moro in their base forms. They've taken hits from multiple characters while in their base forms and still haven't died from it. So again, we have to also factor that in. But I digress. The main point is, that's the explanation as to why Gogeta did such a good job in those variants of his transformation. Super Saiyan Broly, we seem to exaggerate how strong he was, but again, if he can't knock out Golden Frieza within an hour, something Jiren can do with like one punch. I mean, Jiren did that to a Blue Evolution Vegeta, with the fact that Blue Evolution is far, far greater than a perfected Blue variant. Perfected Blue is so strong, it's equivalent to around what we just discussed earlier, around God level Vegito. Think about that. That form is ridiculously powerful. Even Beerus was impressed by it. Kinda. So guess what? The fact that Vegeta used that and still got mollywopped by Jiren, and Jiren, keep in mind, Jiren's not trying to kill them. He is not. I repeat, Jiren is not trying to kill them. It's not part of the rules. You cannot kill during this tournament. So Jiren is trying to hold back enough so he doesn't kill him and get disqualified. That's why he gets caught off guard. And we know how weak you could be when you're caught off guard. He gets caught off guard by someone who's greater than a Kaioken with a perfected Blue on top of that. And he's just like, oh, okay, well, I acknowledge you. Now get bodied. Boom. That's literally the difference in their power. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. So when I look at Mastered Ultra Instinct and what it was able to do and how it was able to compete with Jiren, and if you factor in the anime, Jiren glared away a Final Flash from a times 20 Blue variant, which is a Blue Evolution. Like, think about that. He glared it away. So I stress the main point is Jiren is on a whole nother level, and Master Ultra Instinct likewise. Personally, I believe these guys are all relative to the same tier of power, personally. As far as legendary Super Saiyan Broly goes, Blue Vegito, and again, Blue Vegito and Broly are actually very close in power, believe it or not, according to this interview. Thank you, Andre Strozier, for that. But the main point I'm trying to make with this video is Jiren, Master Ultra Instinct, Gogeta, Blue, and Broly are all around the same tier in my humble opinion. I think they're pretty much all equal to each other, if not greater, but the difference between them wouldn't be greater than like, what, 10%? Because we know in Dragon Ball, if you're 20% above someone, you typically dominate them in a battle. But in this case, they would probably dominate each other if they had like a 4v, you know, a free-for-all, like a free-for-all battle, you know. And don't get me wrong, Gogeta Blue is definitely far stronger than Broly. Well, I don't know about far stronger because he took a lot of strong hits to even put Broly down and wear him out. But the point still stands, these guys are all relative to each other. So when we learned that Goku and Vegeta surpassed that later on, yeah, they surpassed their fusion self back in that movie, which goes to tell you exactly how powerful they really have gotten and should give you an idea of how crazy Granola really is. But that's pretty much it for this video. I won't go too deep or any further because we're getting way ahead of ourselves in this video, but for those of you who were able to stick around these 16 minutes, I appreciate that, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And if you enjoy what I do in these videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button and share this video as well and give it a like. This has been Atari HMB, and I know this opinion is controversial, but tell me what you guys think in the comments below. But I'm signing off. Peace.